Riter Radio podcast is brought to you by Community Beer Works, making good beer for good people since 2012. The future of Community Beer Works is bright with a new tap room opening. The old tap room currently closed, but the brewery remains open, which means you can still buy the beer all over Western New York and beyond. Single order hazy IPA, double order hazy IPA, both go great with wings. Get it? Single order, double order? The Whale is a classic, and there are all sorts of different varieties always coming out. And let's go Pills. It's Community Beer Works. A lot of exciting things going on, including CBW Trivia Night, which takes place Mondays at Transit Music Lounge in Depew. Get there at 7 to sign in. We'll start playing around 7:30, wrap things up around 9, and then it's your choice to stick around and enjoy beer and wings and all the fun things. Or you can get home. It's a school night. Get home at a reasonable time. Either way, we look forward to seeing you at Transit Music Lounge Mondays for Community Beer Works Trivia Night, hosted by me, Brad, and I hope to see you there as well. Now, on with the show. Hey, it's Brad. First thing I want to do is thank you for checking out this particular episode of Riter Radio. The second thing I want to do is tell you that your work is not done, because as every podcaster in the history of humanity has implored his or her listeners to do, it is helpful, essential, that you do all the stuff. The stuff means subscribing and liking and downloading and rating and reviewing and saying nice things and sharing with friends this podcast to keep it going, keep it growing, keep it moving, make everybody's life easier, get more, I was going to say eyeballs, but this is a podcast, more earballs on Riter Radio. Bigger and better guests, better conversations, better everything. Everything about the show is better if you actively help me to share it with others. And you can do that by doing all of the things mentioned, not just by me just now, but by every podcaster who's ever sat down behind a microphone and done this. On with the show. Hey, what's up? It's Brad. It's Riter Radio. And I put out a video, like a teaser trailer thing, saying coming soon in episode 5. You'll hear this cool musical conversation that I have with my buddy Josh. It's not going to be episode 5. This is episode 5, and we're going to revisit Jeremy White, or jump back into the conversation I had with him. We gave you part 1. We'll give you part 2 here. And next time out, I think, is when there will be this lengthy kind of rambling music discussion with Josh and me. And it's super fun, but it just doesn't fit right this moment. So that's coming soon. Again, thank you for listening, paying attention, sharing, doing all the stuff you're doing, and showing support. I appreciate that. And here I am, part 2, my conversation with Jeremy White, which revolves mostly around both of us having kids. And in this one, we start talking about sports and the development of the kids as it pertains to athletic competition. Pretty fun conversation with my good friend Jeremy. That continues here, and we'll do the music thing soon. We'll also talk NFL playoffs very soon, probably in the next episode as well. So there's a lot to get to. Thanks a lot for listening, liking, subscribing, doing all the stuff, all the things that have been asked of you. Without further ado, here I am again. Here I am. Without further ado, here I am. Without further ado, here's a conversation, the continued conversation with my good friend, Jeremy White. You're not anywhere near sports yet, are you?
No. The closest we are to sports is... So, I have boy-girl twins, and they are very much right now like gender stereotypes. He is sports, and she is dolls and princesses. Like, they very much line up with those. You know, we don't steer them to that. That's just how it happens. But then again, at the same time, he'll play Tea Party with her all the time, and she will want to go play golf when we do. But my son is obsessed with golf. Really, loves golf. Loves to watch golf on television. Wants to go to the golf dome, the bubble. I want to go to the bubble. Let's go to the bubble. Daddy, take me to the bubble. The bubble doesn't open until it's cold outside. So first we went to the driving range a bunch of times, and then he saw the bubble and he's like, I want to go in that. Like, it doesn't open till October 1st or whatever it was.
Sure.
And once I put that in his head, it's like every other day, like, is the bubble open yet? When's the bubble open? We go to the driving range now, and it's funny because this is not your sports point, but I'm walking that line of, this is great. My son loves golf. Like, I can take him to the driving range, and he's going to stand next to me and hit balls, and I get to hit balls. Right. This is great. The problem is, it's not that much of a problem. It's going to be fine. That I'll hit like 5. I'll get a bucket of balls, a large bucket for the two of us, and we'll each hit 5, and then he wants to go putt. So all right, we'll lead these balls and we'll come back, right? Yeah, we'll come back. And then he goes over to the putting green, and that dude would putt for 5 hours. He just wants to putt, and then I'll be like, buddy, what do you think? We go hit the rest of those balls? Yeah, come on. And then I walk that line of, if I just go over there and hit balls and just keep an eye on him,
kinda
that's wrong. I shouldn't do that. I'll just hit one. Okay, he looks good. I one more. And so right now, that's the stage of sports we're at. Is golf dome, golf bubble. Like, maybe I'll hit 2 more 6 irons. And all right, now I'm gonna go putt with him. But the putting and the mini golf, he loves golf. It's big swings, putts, watch on TV. He yells at the guys on TV.
Really?
Yeah, and it's really fun for me to watch him. He'll.
Does he know the guys yet? Does he have players or anything?
No, not really.
Doesn't matter.
They know Tage Thompson, they know Josh Allen, they know Dawson Knox.
Okay.
That's about the extent of who they know. But he knows golf. He loves it.
That's cool.
When we go to my mother-in-law's house, there's a pool, and then the rest of their yard, there's a little mini, like almost a golf hole with a flag. Mm-hmm. And once you put him out there with wiffle golf balls and a golf club, he will go and whack balls around for 2 hours.
That's awesome.
He just wants to golf.
Really?
Yeah.
That's super cool.
It's awesome. It's super cool because he loves it. And, without ever telling him or steering him, he's all he wants to do. So that's the closest thing I've got to golf.
Well, that's
to sports.
Well, but what's great about that is there aren't a lot of 2-year hourly.
He's 2.5.
Okay.
They'll be 3 in March.
There are not a lot of 2-year-old golf nuts.
No,
and if that becomes a 7-year-old golf nut, if that continues, and it's not you pushing it, it's just happening, he is immediately the best 7-year-old golfer that we've ever met. Yeah. And then he's 12, and then he's the best 12-year-old. That's cool. Yep. That's cool.
No, it is. Molly looked up first tee program, and that doesn't start till they're 5, which is fine because it'll be like, all right, well, you're just going to probably go play with me until then, which means we'll go to the driving range, and when we go play, I'll go play locally at Delaware Park, and she'll bring them for a walk, and he'll come out and chip and putt with me, and just kind of it's what he can hit it, So it's fun. It's fun. I look forward to it in the future.
What about music? Where are they on music?
She is the singer. She loves Taylor Swift. But
that's a little more common than the 2-year-old golfer,
yes.
I think.
She's a singer. She loves it. They both love the national anthem before hockey games. One of the ways to get them moving it's time to go to the game is we got to get there for the national anthem, and they love the national anthem.
Do they like O Canada also?
Yes. They've just started to learn O Canada.
I like O Canada better.
It's probably...
It's a better song.
First off, it's way easier to sing. But they both love singing. She's the singer. I don't think he really is much for singing.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So between sports and then just activity, my kids like activities, as it turns out. So 2 of them are very into sports. The oldest is not super into sports, but did play basketball last year. And then that convinced him to play baseball in the fall. He loved basketball. We're doing that again. That's going on right now. I'm coaching that team. I'm coaching the other one's team. So I'm coaching 2 basketball teams, which means Wednesday night we've got 2 basketball practices.
I've got a lot of questions about the coaching thing.
Friday night, we'll get to that. Okay. Friday night, we've got 2 baseball practices. Youngest and middle both play travel baseball. They have indoor practice every Friday. And then Sunday, we've got 2 basketball games. So that's just the sports part of it. But tonight, we'll be going to a concert. I think this is the chorus concert for the oldest, as opposed to his band concert, which is soon. And that's not his jazz band concert, which will also be coming up. Yesterday, I had to pick up the middle guy. He stays after school for art club and also morning announcements club. So we've got all that stuff going on. And then the little guy just wants to be a wide receiver in the NFL. It's all, he plays baseball, but that's all he talks about is football. All he does is watches highlight videos of NFL stuff on YouTube to the point where they know names and numbers of players in the league that I've never heard of. Like my 7-year-old twice a week mentions Jesse Bates III.
I was going to say, hey, what do you think of LaVisca Chenault Jr.?
Yes. Yeah. That kind of stuff. Kenneth Walker III. That's the kind of stuff that gets discussed in my house. And it's all YouTube based. It's all that. But yeah, there's a lot of sports going on in my place.
Yeah.
What about coaching?
Coaching. Okay, so my brother-in-law coaches girls basketball, high school level. When you get pulled to coach for how old are they?
11 and 9.
11 and 9. Okay. Do you how invested do you get? Are you watching videos? Are you reading Mike Krzyzewski's book?
No.
Okay. Are you watching
Yes.
YouTube Basketball Coach 101?
Drills.
Run these 5 plays.
Drills.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Did I recently discover a perfect inbound play that I'm mad that I couldn't install last night because we didn't have the gym, even though we were supposed to have practice? Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's where we are.
Do you run the inbound play that every 11/9-year-old plays where someone pretends, I'm supposed to take it in, I'm supposed to take it in, and it's a bluff, and you pass it to the kid that's pretending he's actually going to get the ball under, beyond the baseline to pass it in?
No, but if you have a link to that YouTube video, I might install that after I install the site. We currently run Stack. There's a problem, though. I coached 2 teams. In my second game, this past Saturday, we had our past Sunday was our opener. I'm yelling, stack, stack, stack. They're just looking at me, and then the kids on the bench are like, "We don't know what you're talking about." I was like, "Oh, that was the other practice."
Is Stack like the picket fence from Hoosiers?
Similar,
Maybe.
That's similar.
5 guys run around and do some stuff.
No, it's four guys stack up, and that guy goes that way. The third guy takes a delayed step, and it works every time. Except, last year, we would try to run it, and I always had a kid inbounding it who also played travel baseball, so he was never at practice. And so I would yell stack, and everybody would know what they were doing, except for the kid who I had inbounding the ball. It's tough to keep track of all the things.
Sure. Right.
But it'll be all right. Coaching happened because I answered a phone call when I shouldn't have. I returned a phone call. It was a few weeks out from the season last year, and the guy who's the vice president of basketball for our league called me. I was like, "Oh, Dave. I'm going to call Dave back." And it was the second ring of waiting for him to pick up where I went, "Oh, no, I know why he called me."
Yeah.
They're short a coach. So I ended up coaching, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was awesome. Last year was the first year my kids played basketball, and I ended up coaching, and we ended up winning a lot. We won the championship. My oldest son, who's not super into sports, scored a huge basket in the championship game. I saw sheer joy on his face when he scored. He tied the game with 4 minutes left that we went on to win. We had been up the whole time. Then we fell down by 2, and he scored, and he did this yes thing. I was just like, "Oh my God, this is awesome." I'm like, he's going to play again. He's going to come back. And so then I agreed to coach that team again. And then why not? Just coach another one too.
My first thought of why you would love it is because as a parent, when you get to see your own kids have those moments, it's awesome. And now you get to see everybody, a million kids have those moments. Other kids get to enjoy the game, experience that, whatever. The rewarding, whatever. You get to be a teacher, and being a teacher is not always the most thankful job. People don't always thank teachers enough. My mom was a teacher. But there's definitely a rewarding aspect to it.
Yes. My family, my whole family is teachers. My mom, my sister, a bunch of my cousins, all of them. So I've always had a lot of respect for that. And you know what? My dad coached me maybe only 1 year. He was always I'll help out. There's a lot of those dads that, I'll be around, I'll help.
Sure.
But he, did the whole thing. It's the communication with the parents that's the trip up for me. Especially with having 2 teams. I had one family where I had them on the wrong team the whole time. They keep showing up for the wrong stuff. And to try to redo a group text, and then you add somebody, and then you try to subtract somebody, and then it's oh, can you add my husband? And I do that, but that's the wrong team. And it's tough running 2 of them, especially when a lot of them are the same families. So it gets tricky. But I really like the basketball part of it. The communication part of it, I'm struggling with a little bit, but the practices and the games are awesome. And we've been a bigger baseball family. We've been doing that for probably 7 years now. But basketball has become a huge thing for
we'll
for
see
my guys.
What sports we get into. Baseball, the kids are still getting into baseball.
Yeah.
Those games are long and boring, huh?
I love them.
Because it's downtime?
No, I always end up with a job, even if I'm not coaching.
Like third base coach, or what kind of job?
Well, sometimes that, but no, like I'm the DJ.
Oh, I don't. Wait, all right. You get to play music?
Yeah.
But their music or your music?
Theirs.
All right.
I take requests. I ask everybody what they want.
What do they want?
We do walk-up songs. It changes. Last year, so Nate, my middle guy, played travel baseball last year for the first time. He was on a 9U travel team.
Are you influencing their walk-up songs at all?
My kids, for sure.
All right.
The rest of the kids, no.
But no, that's what I mean.
Their parents.
You're telling your kids what you like. They say, "Dad, here's a couple ideas for walk-up songs," and you're like, "This would be the coolest one."
Sometimes there's some of that, but like to give you an example of a different family, I sent out a text to all the parents like, all right, we're doing walk-up music. Let me know what you want.
That's awesome in itself.
So this kid, they're like 7 at the time. Caleb wants "Immigrant Song" by Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
Like, okay, sure. So I still think of it every time I hear that song now. It's like, now batting number 2, Caleb, and it's like,
That's a good walk-up song.
After one game, I get a text from the mom. Caleb has requested to change his song to "Old Town Road."
Oh.
That wasn't Caleb's choice. That was his mom or his dad's choice to do "Immigrant Song." But I don't know, Nate has used "Seek and Destroy."
Okay.
Which that was his first year. Yeah, pretty great.
Yep.
Last year, first game
I
travel.
just love the idea of like a 7-year-old walking up and like "Seek and Destroy."
Yes, it's amazing. First game of travel last year, Nate decides his walk-up song should be the Whopper song.
Amazing.
Whopper, Whopper, Whopper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing.
0 for 3 strikeouts. You can't be the Whopper guy and also the 0 for 3 strikeout guy.
You got to go yard once.
Yeah. So we had to switch it. That lasted one game. We switched to something more manageable. And then by the end, we went back to Seek and Destroy, and that was cool.
Yeah.
But, dude, walk-up music for little kids, awesome.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Yep. That makes total sense.
And that kind of ends up being my job, is that sort of whatever. I can edit audio. Most people don't know how to do that. There's like an app. There's a ballpark something app that a lot of people use, but it's like the weak version of it. Like, I know what I'm doing. I have Adobe Audition, man. Yeah. I can do this. So I can loop stuff. I can get rid of lyrics. I can do all that stuff. So that I've embraced that portion of my role with the travel team.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what we get into. We took them to soccer shots. That's like just learning soccer.
We did that.
You know, tick tock with your feet, and they liked that.
We did that. We did a basketball thing that essentially, and this was when I lived in Cheektowaga, so it was like a Cheektowaga town thing. But there are a lot of organizations like Soccer Shots where it's more like the kids are going to gym class.
Yeah.
It's not a team thing. It's just like, come on out, we're playing some soccer. Come on out, we're playing. We did a basketball thing like that. That was awesome. It was just, for sure, the guy was a retired gym teacher. For sure. Like, you know those guys when you see him. He wore a tracksuit all the time. He's 68 years old, and he was great with kids. Like, let me guess, you're a retired gym teacher? Yeah. Like, that kind of stuff exists. That's all of it is great. And, you know, like the first tee thing you were talking about, like, all that just sort of, come see if you like it type of deal.
Soccer for them was, I think they liked it. You know, it gives structure to the week, which helps us and gives them something to do to be active. You know, there were 2, so it's, all right, look, you guys doing a great job on the drill, and now you're gonna put your foot on the ball. I forget what that's called, whatever. I didn't play soccer growing up. I love soccer, but I didn't play it growing up. And then after like 10 minutes, Knox is just like, I want to see that tree. And they just run that way. All right, you know.
Overall, short bursts of
attention.
Don't plan on doing something for an hour.
No.
Plan on showing them something cool, and then they're going to see something over there that they like.
And that's where, like, to get back to him in golf, he does not leave it. Soccer, I'll play hockey, I'll play this, I'll play that. Golf, he's like locked in, and getting him off of it is a fight. Like, that's the difference, which is, you know, as someone that I love to golf, like, everyone says, like, oh, it's a dream. Your son's going to play golf with you. And maybe that's true. Whether it's recreationally or whatever. Like, I don't care if he plays in high school at all. Just the idea of, like, 10 years from now going out and playing golf with him or my daughter, of course, either one, and my wife. I mean, who cares? Like, that sounds amazing. You and I are both friends with Bulldog, who just kind of dove back into golf, and his son Owen is playing golf, and those two, Owen's, older, grown adult, and they're like battling for who's going to win.
Yeah.
And like, what a cool idea that is. The idea that, like, whether it's video games or golf or a race. I forget. I have a friend who every year, like, they race their son. like, eventually he's going to win. But on his birthday, they race.
Great. You can use this in a couple of years. This is the thing we were talking about earlier with, I used to spend a lot of time at playgrounds. And I came up with, hey, I have a stopwatch. Let's see how fast you can get from here to all the way over there and back. And I'll save the time, and we could do this again next time we're at this playground.
Yep.
Little things like that.
Yep.
I mean, it's essentially playing fetch with a child. Maybe it's not recommended by doctors and psychologists, but
I built them.
awesome.
I built them an indoor obstacle course yesterday. And they could run in a circle, and it'd be like, ready, go. And they just run and climb stuff and do stuff. And I would sit in the same spot.
Introduce the stopwatch.
Yeah.
And we got the same thing
That's
going.
a great idea. I feel like for them, they were deciding whether or not they wanted to race each other versus whatever. They just know it was an episode of Bluey where the dad ran the obstacle course. So they wanted to run an
They
obstacle
like
course.
obstacles. That's good. As rewarding as the sports stuff is, the music stuff, to me, is phenomenal as well. All of them are into, I would say the two older ones really, are into listening to music, but also into playing music. So they're playing music for real, like lessons, like saxophone and trumpet and that kind of thing. But also we have a piano. Everybody knows how to do stuff on piano. And guess what? YouTube teaches you everything.
Yeah.
So they just, like, I walked in the house the one day, and my son's like, hey, Dad, check this out. And he's just playing Master of Puppets on the piano, which I didn't even know, like, who would even think to do that?
Yeah.
He's got a guitar, and, like, he just recently really got into Green Day. And so he got the new album. He pre-ordered the new album on Amazon, and it arrived, and he was listening to it, and that night playing it on guitar. Like, okay,
It's wild.
it's amazing. So, like, the sports stuff is cool. I've always loved sports. I've always loved music. I'm not great at either one of them, but to watch them produce the things that I like to watch and listen to, amazing.
Yeah. It's funny, like, I think about all the things that are available, like you said, like on the internet, looking up the this and that. And I think when you and I grew up playing video games, if you didn't know how to get by a board, you had to call an 800 number or something. Like, you couldn't just Google, like,
Write a letter to a magazine and hope they published it.
How do I beat this boss? Yeah, you'd wait like a month to find out how to beat that boss. Now it's just like, all right, how do I do this?
I wrote a letter to Baseball Digest to ask how they determine who has home field advantage in the World Series. And they never answered me. I didn't know until the internet.
And there was no way to know.
No. Who would you ask? Who would you call?
Yeah. Unlike music, Dilly, our daughter's going to be into music for sure. Like, I already know. And their birthday's in March. So, you know how Instagram works. They sell you on all these things to buy. They're like these kid guitars. And I'm sure you do this too with, like, Christmas versus birthday versus when the right time is to get things. We'll probably get her a guitar because she's going to want to be Taylor Swift. Period. I'm positive for the next 3 years of her life, she's going to want to be Taylor Swift.
I'm going to make sure she doesn't listen to this podcast, or she's going to know that guitars.
She's going to play guitar and sing her favorite Taylor Swift songs. Is what she's going to do, which is wonderful.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sure we'll hear from Jeremy soon, but for now, thank you, Jeremy White, for joining me on Riter Radio, and thanks to you for listening and following and subscribing and contacting me, and in general, just keeping this podcast going and giving it a little injection of life as we're moving forward. I took a long time off between recording things and just got back into it, and I'm very into it, but I also need your support. And I'm not talking like money. I don't need your money. I just need you to listen and pay attention, and if you like something, share it with somebody else. That's it. That's all I want. So thank you for doing that. We've had a great response so far. with this new revamped Riter Radio thing going on right now online. It is all brought to you by Community Beer Works, and look forward to talking to you again very soon. Thank you for listening to Riter Radio.